one time. God bless. How bad is it? Ask.
How bad is it?
I just got a text from Durham, North Carolina. That's how bad it is. And the text says, Jesus. Lot going on in King's Country. Yeah, well, there is, Coach. We welcome you in here to the whatever day it is. It's April 17th. I'm Damian Barling.
The ultimate needle mover in God mode himself.
He's Kenny Caraway.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge.
And we are live.
Slums of Sacramento.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just pick up where we were here with the insiders a moment ago. Let's reset everything. Kyle didn't ask anything. He just looked at me and he said, Jesus. And I said, Lord, help us. Here we are. You know, you tell me. We were together almost the entire game before you went to your courtside post, and I took my ass home.
You were gone before.
I left. Yeah, I got the hell. And let the record show, I had no intention of leaving that game early. I got text to prove it. Gonna be home. I'm gonna stay through this whole thing.
Yeah.
Then it was clear at halftime, baby, I'm coming home. I ain't sitting around for this. And so it was clear. You tell me, because I share my opinion.
Okay.
But I was just tapping in. Appreciate y'all being with us. We got all this news about Monty McNair being out, Scott Perry being in. I was prepared. We knew Monty was being fired. We knew if that game went a certain way, Monty was being fired. I think as the evening before the game progressed, Casey and I got to the back little section by ourselves, and we're kind of like, I think we're hiring Scott Perry. Like that chatter from four corners of the building, four different walks of life, was pretty loud. And it's like, okay, so they have a target. Got it. No, you two stupid dumbasses. We don't have a target. We have a hire. Yeah. And then I thought, oh. I shared a remark that a friend of ours said to me as he was walking away. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. You get to the back, all of the media talking, and it's like, oh, everybody's saying the same thing. Monty and the Kings knew that was it. They knew Scott Perry was the hire. It wasn't chatter. It was the plan. We heard the plan. Scott Perry was being hired. If we heard that, what you think them guys in the uniform heard? Oh, they knew. They've known probably for months. We heard chatter about Monty McNair months ago. We knew Monty was gone when we saw Wes was gone. Okay, they're blowing this whole thing up. Which brings us to the De'Aaron Fox. Interrupt me anytime you want.
Good, right now you're cooking.
Brings me back to the De'Aaron Fox trade. You knew you were firing him. You knew. Why did you let him execute that trade? Why did you let him be in charge of that? You didn't. Monty McNair didn't execute that Zach LaVine trade. And I'm starting to wonder, I'm starting to put pieces of my own puzzle together. I don't think Monty McNair signed DeMar DeRozan either. We heard DeMar DeRozan's name from people. We, you and I, heard Zach LaVine's name from people. I don't think Monty was behind either one of those. They had no problem with Monty McNair being behind that De'Aaron Fox trade, knowing they were going to fire him, because he wasn't behind the trade. As soon as Zach LaVine became the main target, I think I know who's behind that. Look, everybody know who. There's no secret. Doesn't mean it was bad. It just means it wasn't Monty's idea. Monty McNair shouldn't have been fired last night for being a bad general manager. Monty McNair should have been fired last night because he has no backbone. He didn't orchestrate anything on this team. It's certainly not within the last few months. Now, did he drop the ball following the playoff year? Maybe. Did he drop the ball in the offseason? maybe, or trade deadlines, whatever. Maybe. Did he drop the ball with Devin Carter? Did he drop the ball with Dave? Might have done all of that. But if your big frustration is the Chicago Bulls of the West, I'm not sure that was on him. And I recognize I should, and I know this, I'd like to have a little more substance when I have a quote take, a thought, an opinion. I'm sorry for being slow to this. I know people have said, this is Vivek. I get why you're saying that. All of this became crystal clear this morning when that Shams Charania tweet went out about Scott Perry. Mm-hmm. The plan has been in place for months. It's what I just said to Kyle. Process the process that we're dealing with right now. Vlade Divac, the shadowy figure in the lurks. Everyone thinks it's Matina. Y'all bring up Matina's name. Y'all have no idea what that woman does.
No clue. None.
You have just heard people say her name before, and you're convinced she's the Wicked Witch of the West.
Real quick, this is my first foray into being, behind the scenes of things. It's been about 4 years. I ain't seen that woman do one thing yet. Not one thing.
I saw her sitting in her seat yesterday. That's the extent of what I saw.
It. I haven't seen her do one thing in 4 years.
Doesn't mean she's not a part of stuff. Doesn't mean
right.
She's not a part of discussions. Doesn't mean doesn't mean any of that. It means y'all have convinced yourself that this boogeyman exists and she's lurking in the shadows, when in fact the real boogeyman you need to worry about has his jersey up in the rafters. Vlade called the one. What was the big knock on Vlade Divac? He doesn't have relationships across the league. That's one of the reasons he's struggling as a general manager. He can't connect with agents. So what do? They bring in Scott Perry. What's Scott Perry do? Well, Zach Randolph comes here. Vince Carter comes here. George Hill. Thank you. George Hill comes here. You get guys like Garrett Temple. You get established vets. You get vets leader. That's all Scott Perry. All of it. So it's just a coincidence. And I think Scott Perry's a fine hire, by the way. It's just a coincidence. You hired the one guy in the league that Vlade knows. You hired the one guy in the league who Vlade can get on the phone, talk about the organization, sing the praise. You hired that one guy. Doesn't mean it's the wrong hire. Doesn't mean it's a bad hire. It just means recognize this process. This is what you're dealing with. Sam Amick wrote about it. Well, hey, Kings fans, it's fine. Vlade's not going to have a formal role within the organization, but he does have influence. It's way more dangerous. It's way more dangerous to have an informal role because you have no accountability in that regard. Vlade could just go, oopsie. He going to get fired from a job he doesn't have? No, in this KC, this is where you and let you cook. We can even go long. This is where we might have to veer a little bit. I'm looking at Vivek Ranadive now. Mm-hmm. Looking directly at him. This is a dude who does not have the ability to trust his decisions. He constantly has someone. There is always whether you believe that someone is Matina, whether you believe that someone is Vlade, whether you believe that someone is Joe Dumars, there is always somebody. Some might think it's Alvin Gentry. The world was ending yesterday, but who was courtside having a blast? Our man Alvin. There's always someone who he bounces everything off of. There's always someone there in a, quote, informal position. And that's where I'm looking at him, in that either trust your decisions or get out of the way. I'm not sure he's capable of doing either. Because if he trusted his decisions, he'd just get out of the way. But he does not trust who he hires. And he always keeps somebody close, and that person tends to circulate. It tends to change. It was Vlade for a while. Then it was Joe Dumars. Maybe it was Matina. Maybe it was Alvin. And it was Vlade again. There were rumors that it was son. There's reports that it is daughter. Who's making the decisions in this organization? In actuality, it might be 4 or 5 people. Who wasn't making the decisions, in my opinion? Again, I don't think he did a good job. But I think the person who wasn't making the decisions was the guy who was fired last night. I don't think Monty McNair was the final decision maker. Firing Monty or parting ways with Monty was no big deal because he had no say, or he didn't have the ultimate say. They may have thought about it as, we just lost our draft guy. Go ahead.
Great stuff. First of all,
Jesse, we going because I took that whole that whole time, so we going.
You're good. So for me personally, I like to, much like you, look at things a little bit more intricately than just it's this person's fault or anything else like that. There's a lot of blame to go around all the time. And sometimes I'll voice that opinion. And I'm sure at some point I will today. Right now, it's not the time to do that for Vivek Ranadive and ownership. It's not. They deserve everything that they're getting right now. They're the ones in charge. They're the head of the table, to use a wrestling term. So when things, these people dumb.
Man.
These people dumb as rocks, bro. That's a whole nother story that we probably won't get to on this on these.
Yeah, we'll save that for another day.
But people think I just say it when it's convenient. No, it is a way that I go about, like, at least this entertainment business stuff. The game is the game. And Vivek, you want to sit courtside, you want to own the team, you want to have say so, you want to be the guy, when it's all good, talking about light the beam, and you go there and you light it with 50 Cent and De'Aaron and all this other stuff. You got to be the guy right now that everybody is telling you it's your fault. Not that I ever tried to get in the way with it. I sure won't get in the way of it right now. You wore all that. That was a disgrace last night.
Yeah.
That was a disgrace. Tweeted it out. I'll say it on the airwaves. Everybody involved last night, they let the city down. Sacramento, Kings fans, they got behind that team last night and were ready to have a party and have a good time. It was the play-in. It was a sorry little play-in. And they were ready to support that team to the final buzzer.
Mm-hmm.
And they let everybody down.
And they did it quickly.
The players let everybody down. That front office let everybody down. The owners let everyone down last night. That was pathetic. So I'm gonna say all that saying I'm not here to defend anybody. We just talking, we having a conversation. I'm trying to figure this out. I'll ask you, how do you think that goes down if Vivek is making all the decisions? Do you think that it's just as simple as I want Sasha Vezenkov, go sign him?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's how it goes down?
No. No, I don't. I think it's a little more intricate than that. I think Sasha's a unique one. Sasha might have been a
bad example.
Yeah, so
I just used the name.
You actually role played this once. And normally role play is a massive failure on this show, but this one worked. Because like this, you executed this once, and if memory, I can't remember how exactly we did this, but I think you were Vivek in this scenario.
Okay.
And you looked at Monty and said, "Look, I gave you the chance. I gave you the chance. I gave you a chance to do it. You missed on Siakam, you missed on OG, and you have all of these reasons that you missed on this and you missed on that. I've given you the ability to make these hires, to make these firings. I've given you the ability. I guess that's another conversation to be had too. I've given you the ability to do all of this. Okay, now you're going to do it my way. De'Aaron doesn't want to be here. Fine. Execute the trade. All I care about is that guy in Chicago winds up in Sacramento. I've wanted him here for years. This is our only path. Go get him. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you want, because I've given you years, a couple of years, to do it your way. And you have been unable to do it, so do it mine. That's what I think it was.
I think so, too.
And I don't think the DeMar DeRozan thing is far off of that. Going back to the DeMar DeRozan signing, again, there's a little behind the scenes context to this, but we know the places we heard that name from. And now hey, look, what's your idea? Let's brainstorm this. What's your idea this offseason? And I don't like that idea. I don't like that idea. You failed on this idea. I'm not walking away from this offseason with Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes on my roster. I'm not running it back for the third time. I've given you multiple opportunities. You want to call about such and such, whoever it might be. You want to call about Cam? Fine, call. We know what that conversation is like. Call. You got it. You want to call about Kyle Kuzma? Call. He better waive that trade kicker, but you can call him. When what was the main Utah? Lori, that's fine. Engage with Lauri Markkanen. If you could pull that off, we're golden. Great. We know who you're dealing with there. We said the Kings gave, and this is the way it was explained to us, the Kings gave Utah a deadline. Utah left him on red. Vivek might have given his front office a deadline. If I don't see a tweet from Shams Charania that says Lauri Markkanen is the Sacramento Kings by this day, I want to see DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento by the time the California Classic happens. That's how I think it ultimately went.
In that situation, which I agree with, I wouldn't want Vivek doing that. Like, I'm not saying that's the way to do it. But at the same time, bro, you had ample time to get something done. And you didn't, because you're not convincing enough. You're not a good enough negotiator. You don't have the charisma, or whatever the case may be. It couldn't get done. So like I said, I'm not here to, hell no, I ain't caping for Vivek or none of that stuff. Like, no, I'll continue to reiterate that, because some people are dumb and don't listen. So I'll keep saying it. But in that situation, I'm not like, yeah, I understand it. I get it. Bro, I gave you all the offseason previously, the trade deadline, and we've been done since April.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be talking. It's June 30th. And I ain't got nothing on the horizon right now. Nah, bro. All right. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be on the horizon is DeMar DeRozan gonna be here at the California Classic. Because you couldn't get nothing done.
And I want not like us playing.
Because you couldn't get nothing done, not for a week or so, for a year and a half. And here's another thing. Okay. All right. Okay. Once again, it sounds like I'm defending him. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. I wasn't sure I wanted to sign Mike Brown. You came in here and you said, I think we need to keep rolling with him. You convinced me that everything was going to be all right. It's not all right. They've quit on him. He needs to go. And I gave you the opportunity to fix all this and you didn't. Now we're going to do it my way. Once again, not saying it's right. Not saying it's right at all. But I'm giving you a scenario of how things might have went down.
Doesn't mean it's wrong either, though.
That part too. That part too. So the thought process behind it, this is what I gather from it, is a lot of people believe, and they could be right. I really don't know. They could be 100% right. But a lot of people believe the day you sign up to work for Vivek Ranadive, you have no control over nothing. And he's calling all the shots from day one. I don't believe that's necessarily how things go. I think he gives you an opportunity to show your worth, to do what you have to do. And if it doesn't happen, I guess in a winning form, winning and maybe money efficient form. If it doesn't happen that way over, I'll say maybe he gives you a year. Then he gets impatient and he starts incorporating his ideas and his thought process into what he thinks happens.
And that's also problematic.
It is 100%. Not saying it's right. I'm just saying,
yeah.
like people, like I'm talking about Scott Perry. He's going to be a Vivek puppet. I don't, first of all, don't disrespect that man like that.
Yeah, I don't.
That is an accomplished man in this game, in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Don't disrespect him like that. To talk about this man that has done a lot over probably 20, 30 years in this league at this point is coming to Sacramento to be a puppet. I don't think that's the case at all. But I do think if he doesn't find success in a certain amount of time, he may have to deal with the same things that Monty McNair dealt with, that Pete D'Alessandro ended up dealing with. Because once again, I remind everybody all the time that what I just laid out, not that I know anything, I'm just saying what I just laid out seems a little more plausible. Because when Pete first got here, Vivek let him do what he needed to do. Then he ran things into the ground, and then Vivek started, I want Vladi, or I want this and that, this and that. I think it's his impatience when things don't go right fast enough, or maybe even on the timeline that he was told. That's when he starts to incorporate his thought process into it. And he hasn't really been right himself either. Like he get mad at everybody else for making the wrong decisions and doing this, that. He ain't been right himself. He hasn't hired the right people. He hasn't had the right thought process himself when it comes to players, the way you want to play, all this other stuff. I mean, he's been wrong as much as the people he's trying to get rid of.
Look at this real quick for me. This is the direction the tweets were going. That's it. That's his bag. That is Sham's bag. But what really gets me is Shams tweeted this, and it's the lower third on ESPN as well. Kings finalizing deal to hire Scott Perry's GM, replacing Monty McNair. 40-plus win seasons in 3 straight seasons under McNair. 0 40-win seasons from 2006 to 2022. What do you think that's from?
That's from Monty's people.
Yeah.
Whoever his agency is or whatever. And here's the other thing, man. That
hey, make my guy look good on the way out. I mean, there's already. It sounds like he gets to pick where he wants to go. There's rumors of Houston and joining up with Raphael Stone, who's his homie. And I think Monty is great in the background. And someone said to us yesterday, and this is perfect because it is not Scott Perry. Someone said to you and I yesterday, you cannot hire a first-time general manager to run this franchise.
Facts.
Man, was that on point.
Facts.
God bless it. That was on point.
And here's the issue that I have with all this all the time. Like, it feels like everybody's wrong. It feels like everybody is wrong. Like, it feels like Vivek is wrong for the way that he goes about things and just his process. It just seems like it sucks. But here's the other thing. My man, Sam Amick, and this is Sam Amick is reporting. He's talking to people. I want to make that clear too, because people be trying to create friction between me and Sam's my man, and his work is pristine. So we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna plant that out there like I'm talking about Sam. I'm not talking about Sam. I'm talking about the way things are told to Sam. And he wrote the article this morning, and lo and behold, you know how the hit piece is always like is always
ready.
Out there, always ready to go. Boy, I didn't have anything to do with everything that went bad piece is always ready to go.
You saw that.
Everything that went wrong, well, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that.
Yep.
I didn't want to do that.
Yep.
Number one, like you said earlier, grow a pair. Number one, if you didn't want to do it, you're the man in charge of the job.
Yeah.
So if you didn't want to do it, speak up and do what's right or what you feel is right.
Yeah.
Second of all, it like I said, man, it's always that. We've been telling you that all the time. Everything, Mike Brown does the same thing. Everything, and he might have been right on a few things. I'm not we'll talk about that. He might have been right on a few things, but everything that is.
You said Mike Brown, right?
Mike Brown.
Yeah, let me tell you.
He might have been right on a few things.
I'm just going to take a note. Mike Brown was right. And boy, I'm going to let you finish. I just want to, boy, Domas is the luckiest dude on the planet right now. Oh, because if it wasn't for this, go ahead.
But no, that's all I want to say is everything that is wrong, the people who are leaving, number one, don't take accountability of the things. And I'm going to say this guy's name, and you were there. Leo was there talking about Devin Carter. I was like, Devin Carter can play. He ended up being his last game of the season. I was like, you know what? He's a good little player. And he's got
exactly what I asked him to do last night, too.
He's got things to work on, but that's a good ball player. But Monty McNair don't ever talk about how it was his choice to draft him when he couldn't play half the season, when the team was in win now mode, when the trade potentially was on the table and you walked away from it to draft this guy that wasn't ready to start the season. Monty McNair don't take no responsibility for drafting Keegan Murray, who was the number 4 pick in the draft. And I don't know what kind of extension he's going to get.
Okay. Well,
contract.
Hold that thought. It's clean, man. We're cooking today. Hold that thought. We have to break. All right, our man Jake Gadon is here. Boy, Jake, we got a lot to talk about. Of course, Jake, fresh off the exit day interviews, press conferences that took place over at the Golden One Center. But let's start with last night. Jake Gadon roaming around. We got the setup earlier. You and KC in the tunnel with Lania, and hey, Jake, I think it's gonna happen, man. I think it's gonna happen tomorrow. And Jake, you think? And then you guys part ways, and Jake, what happens after that?
After that, we go into the locker room to get some post-game interviews. We're getting prepared to talk to Domas and JV, who are getting on their clothes. Same thing with Zach LaVine and Devin Carter. Next thing I know, I turn down and Sam, our good friend of the program, Sam Amick, tweets out saying that the Kings have mutually parted ways, very important, mutually parted ways with Monty McNair, the general manager. I say that out loud, and I swear to God, I have never it's a moment that I don't think I'll ever forget. Where like Zach, Devin, JV, and Domas turn to me like, no, you're joking. Like, no way. Like, nah, no shot. Show them the tweet. And all of them are like in shock. LaVine turns to me and says, dude, he was here 15 minutes ago telling us like, congratulations on a great season. I look forward to, improving the roster and making this thing work this off.
Lying to them. He was in there 15 minutes just lying to them.
Yeah, basically.
Or improving the roster. Okay.
Well, look here. I told Jake too. This is why they got their ass beat yesterday. Their awareness is on 0. How are you so shocked by that?
Yeah, right.
Well, the best part of that is when JV and Domas start talking Lithuanian, you're like, okay, some stuff's going down. All right, you're trying to figure it all out. Then Kings coach comes down and says, hey, DC's having a team meeting up at Kings HQ upstairs and at the Golden One Center. Everyone needs to just throw something on, some clothes, and JV and Domas are just throwing stuff on. They haven't even dried off from their shower yet. Man, they closed the locker room, and the end of the Monty McNair era ended abruptly. And, the roller coaster ride for this season it's so on par for everything that the Kings have done this year. And it's even more on par that we already have a GM already in place less than 12 hours after the news and less than 3 hours after they officially send the thing.
12 hours, my ass. They had this GM in place 12 minutes before the firing.
Well, we talked about this, though. We talked about this yesterday with Joe DeMars.
Yep.
We talk about this all the time. We joke about it with NBA signings.
Yep.
Like, and that's that's where people, I will push back just a little bit when people are like, wow, do this without a search. No, they've been looking for a GM for months.
Yeah, and I laid that out on the insiders. They knew what they wanted to do. This has been the plan, as you just said, for months.
To a certain degree, I'm not gonna say I respect, because it's not in the respect, but I'd much rather not go through the charade of acting like you're looking for somebody when you already know Scott Perry's getting it. Give him the job. Let's get to work. Figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
So Jake, seemed like you were a little surprised that they did it last night.
I don't like the timing. Like, okay, I think there's ways of going about parting ways or firing people, right? And again, this is the NBA. It's volatile. This is part of the business. But like the way they did Mike dirty in terms of, had a practice, had a press conference, driving to the airport, fired him on the way to the airport. Same thing with Monty. He makes his rounds pregame, talking to everybody. The game ends. 20 minutes after the game ends, you fire him. Like, I understand, like, you had a plan, but there's a classier way of going about it, if you ask me, and waiting till this morning would probably have been the more accurate way of going about it. But this is what, I guess what the news cycle is like now, where you get it out as quickly as you possibly can, and you make the announcement as quickly as you possibly can. I'm just not, I just don't like how they do their business sometimes. I just don't. Like, I'm not saying that they're bad businessmen or women, but I just don't like, it rubs me the wrong way, the way they go about it. Like, yes, firings are never going to be good, but let's do it in a way that is maybe a little more conscientious and I don't know, more businesslike. Is that like make any sense? I don't know. I'm not perplexed by the move. I'm just perplexed about how they went about it.
That's completely understand. I would just real quick want to ask both of you guys, if they would have lost by 5 last night, do you think the announcement is this morning?
Yeah.
That was if you're being in that building.
Yeah.
That was
the firing was happening.
Right.
Yes.
The nature in which Jake just laid out probably had a lot to do with what we saw on the floor.
And you should have seen Vivek and Anjali sitting courtside after the game. Like, don't get me wrong, Vivek does this, like, his hands crossed on his arms for the majority of the game, especially if they're losing. And that's, not a crazy thing to see, but to see him and Angelique just sitting there like blank faces of like what just happened, what's going on, like you felt a certain way, like he was hot, like you could tell, like that he was just a different feeling that with the performance that they had last night.
I'm going to say something to the both of them, and I like Anjali a lot, and I think we consider her a friend. You two need to be more self-aware. Be more aware of stuff like that.
Right.
You two need to be more aware of a lot of things. Right. Be more aware of that.
They always worried about, or Vivek is always worried about having somebody next to him, in basketball wise, to like bounce ideas off of or double check how he feels. They need to hire a PR firm.
Right.
That's what they need.
They need Olivia Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they need.
That's what I need to look into. Should we do this right now? Don't make any moves until you talk to your PR manager and say, should we do this right now? Is this a good look?
Well, but don't sit on the floor. Don't sit on the floor like that, knowing Jake, you were there. You were in the same circles vicinity. We're putting the simplest puzzle together ever. I don't know if these two, like, to me, Monty addressing the team doesn't fit the mutually agreed to part ways narrative. That's not like you would have went in there, yo, I'm proud of you fellas. You did a great job. My time is done. It's nothing ill. It's just, it's not really working. They have a plan. They're going to move forward. They're going to tell you all about it. Or you just don't go in there. You don't have to address them at all. You just don't go in there. So he was fired. And he knew he was being fired. Jake, you knew. We all knew. It felt like we were hearing like rumblings, and it's like, oh, that's just chatter. And then now you realize it wasn't chatter. It was like, this is what's happening. Monty's getting fired. If things go ill tonight, Monty's getting fired, and they already have their if they don't have their hire, they're very close to having their number one target in place.
No, you're absolutely right. But it's not surprising though, because everything that this ownership group has done is reactionary. It's not based off of calculated moves. It's very much reactionary. Oh, this doesn't work, get him out of here. Oh, this isn't working, get him out of here. Oh, this is working, let's keep this. Like, it is a very reactionary group in terms of not of taking putting their feelings into those moves. sometimes in business, if you're having a bad day, at least the way I learned how to deal with business, and I learned this from my father, which I'll give him full credit for this. When you get bad news, especially at work or in a business setting, you take that news, you internalize it for 24 hours so you don't make a poor decision and a poor reactionary decision, and then you reestablish it or re-talk about it the 24 hours afterwards so you can feel like you fully digested it and actually have an appropriate reaction to it. I don't think that the ownership group knows how to do that right now. I think they're purely reactionary. And, credit Vivek, he wants to win. Like, it's not like they don't want to win and make this work. But the way he goes about it, I don't know if he knows what he's doing.
You don't get credit for wanting to win. Like, that needs to end.
You think so?
No, you don't get credit for wanting to win. No one goes, you know what? You know what I want to do to Jake? When I appear on Sports Sunday, I want to suck. That's what I want to do. I want to be awful. I want to be incoherent and make no point. When you ask me about the Kings firing Monty McNair for no reason whatsoever, I'm going to talk about Fruit Loops. Yeah, nobody does that. Like, you buy a sports team, you take KC takes the floor at a basketball game. You take the anchor desk at CBS 13. I said, we're going to win. Most people, especially successful people, approach with the idea of, I want to win. You do not get credit for that.
Agreed.
You do not get credit for just wanting to win. And I'm not giving Vivek credit for that. I'm not giving anybody for credit for that. As Casey said, that's the bare minimum.
You're not
wrong. Tying your shoes each morning. That's all it is. That is all it is.
That's facts. And on top of that, and I know, look, I understand what people talk about, the process, all this other stuff. I'm not giving nobody no credit for processes either. You only get credit for W's and not L's. That's it. Because we could have the perfect progress or process in the world and everything. Oh, they did it right. They hired this person. They went through a search. They did it exactly how you want to. And Vivek moved out of the way, and this person was running things and everything. And if that person has a winning percentage of 353, he's not getting a contract extension. He's getting fired. And Vivek's getting blamed for hiring the wrong person. Just like, to be honest with you, if he went about it the wrong way and they get to an NBA Finals, I'm not going, I don't like this NBA Finals because they did it the wrong way. To hell with that. At this point in this city, it's about wins and losses. Who's getting the wins? Who's getting the losses? Right now, Vivek and whoever he hires is getting loss after loss after loss after loss after loss. So they're doing a terrible job. Talking about Vivek, ownership, all this other stuff.
Do you think he's aware of that, though? Like, or do you think he consistently thinks it's someone else's issue?
Well, Kenny laid it out earlier. I think everyone in the organization thinks it's someone else's issue.
Agreed.
I think everyone else in the organization believes that someone else failed them, and that's why they couldn't be good. And I think that goes for Vivek. I think it goes for the front office. I think it goes for Mike Brown and the coaching staff, and I think it goes for a lot of the players. Everybody it went for De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox publicly blamed his teammates, or publicly said that they need something else on the podium of at a press conference once. Like, everybody there was in KC has done a great job of laying this out multiple times this year. No one in this organization is taking accountability. Absolutely no one. And it continues today. No one's being held accountable for what happened last night. No one's being held accountable for the fact that this team had 48 wins a few years ago and looked to have a future ahead of them. Now they have 40 wins, and they look like the disaster that we are all so very, very familiar with. This right here, this moment that every Kings fan is experiencing, watching this show, listening on the radio, this is the most familiar feeling in the world. No matter your age, if you're a Kings fan, what you're experiencing today is the feeling you are most familiar with. When we said 2 years ago, enjoy this Beam Team year, it's never gonna feel like this again. We didn't realize it was never gonna happen again. We just thought it was never gonna be like this again.
Right.
Lo and behold,
Here we are.
here we are. Jake, you're kind of an outsider. Like, how? I mean, you're with us now for sure, but you are from the Northeast, and you've made your way around the world, and you've kind of you've settled here in Sacramento as a part of this team. Like, what is your perception of this as as someone who's been around other places before?
Straight dysfunction from the top down. And I think what you hit perfectly is accountability. And I don't see any accountability with anywhere within that organization. I think from an outside perspective, seeing how good organizations are run and being able to be around organizations like that. For example, I was there with the Denver Nuggets before everything kind of toppled over this past year of having a GM head coach relationship before Calvin Booth was the GM, and seeing how they build a roster and how you build a culture and how you put that whole thing together. Man, that is a well-run organization. And then on top of that, you have a competent owner or managing partner in Josh Kroenke that will come out and take ownership for when things are not doing well or not working out correctly and going about it in the right way. Seeing a team like honestly, like the New York Yankees, for example, the highest class organization in baseball with the Dodgers and how they go about their business. It's not even comparable to what's happening here in Sacramento. It's like, now I understand why, the phrase, the Kangs, and the laughing stock of what Sacramento has been through for the past 2 decades. Like, it all makes sense now. Like, you see it firsthand and you ask yourself, like, how the hell have you not learned anything from your past mistakes? You make the same mistake again, after again, after again. And I know this is being critical, but at the same point, you have paying customers that are coming to see your product on a consistent basis, and you're raising ticket prices for them to come see them, and you still make the same mistakes and don't learn from anything. So if from my outside perspective, to say that there's a massive amount of dysfunction, no accountability, no credibility, and there is truly no future right now, it's the same thing that you guys were talking about a decade ago. Nothing's changed.
Here's the problem that I have, Jake, in that everything you said is correct. But here's the problem that I have. We laid it out earlier today. Damian laid it out earlier when he was breaking things down. Vivek Ranadive was not on the floor as Domas fumbled the ball around for damn near the entire second quarter. You know what I mean?
And the fourth.
He wasn't out there. But here's the problem. This is what I'm talking about when you talk about like true accountability. Nobody takes accountability anywhere in this organization, because if things go wrong, you can always point back to Vivek. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve whatever, but Monty McNair, when you drafted Devin Carter, who can't play for the majority of the season for a team that lacks depth, or you don't go out and get a Jake LaRavia type player in the offseason so we don't have to have a 6-man rotate, there's no accountability for that from him. Because when things go wrong, they'll be like, well, look, I didn't have no control. He was telling me what to do the whole time. No, bro, you didn't go do this. And that's the issue. Everybody that comes through here, comes through this city, comes through this organization, always has, in their back pocket, they got, I'm going to blame Vivek and everything will be all right. Instead of being good at your job. Mike Brown, the whole thing with Mike Brown. Mike Brown, a good coach. He had his hands tied on a couple things. He was right on a couple things. He was dead wrong when he brought Chris Duarte in here to challenge Kevin Huerter for some reason. But no, we don't never hear about that, right? We just hear about how he didn't have the ability to do things he wanted to do.
But Mike did bring accountability. Mike did bring accountability. At least.
Not for himself. Why don't we ever talk about Chris Duarte? Why doesn't he ever mention, and he doesn't have to, but why doesn't he ever mention, damn, it looks like Keon probably should have played some more? He don't ever say that. Not wrong. I can't ever get anything done right here in this organization. And it's a micro. Vivek does the same thing. Vivek are probably sitting there saying, it's not my fault. It's these guys that I hired. No, all you guys are wrong to some degree. But there's just a bunch of people pointing fingers at each other. And that's why nothing ever gets done. Nobody's sitting up there from the players, from the front office, from the ownership saying, man, I got to be better. It's always somebody else's fault.
I wonder how many people. I wonder, like, Vivek is the only one who doesn't have to wonder what his next job is. I feel like there's a certain point, Jake, when you get here and you start wondering, well, what is my next job? Because this is going a direction, or it's going to inevitably go in a direction, and I got to start thinking about what that's going to be. And that could, I mean, maybe that's Mike, maybe it's Monty. I feel like I don't know, man. What you got? Any what stood out to you at exit interviews today, media sessions today? Anything? I know you asked Domas about, clarity and all of that. Anything really stand out to you talking to these guys today?
There's two things. So four things. We'll go with four. First, we'll start with Domas. The biggest thing that they needed to add is a point guard. And I wanted to laugh at that because it's like, Domas, you had a point guard in De'Aaron and they traded him away. So and I don't know how much you were involved with that and that decision making and wanting to work with Malik Monk. But the fact that Domas literally said, we need to bring in a point guard and that needs to happen this offseason is very poignant, and it's nothing new. We all know that. But the fact that he actually said it and made it crystal clear that he wants a point guard and he wants to be part of the decision-making moving forward if he is going to stay here in Sacramento is very telling. I think it's something that, Domas has gotten right now in terms of getting his head coach in Doug Christie, a guy that he likes working with. But at the same time, he did get what he wanted this year, and it still didn't work. So how much does Domas's voice really affect what this organization does moving forward? The clarity part of it for him is very interesting. When you look at Debo,
and I just real quick, my brother in Christ, you will not be a part of the decision making. When you can put the ball in the basket, not fumble it 4 straight times down the floor, hit an open three, score more than 13 points in a game at home that we lose and we go home, then you could be a part of the decision-making process. My brother, you have not earned that.
On top of that, he doesn't show up on the biggest games. That's the second year in a row we're doing that. But, that's Domas right now. Great regular season player, postseason, almost invisible. And we've seen that for the past 3 years. Second thing is Debo with DeMar DeRozan. He keeps on saying how this is the most volatile season that he has experienced in his 16-year career, and heading into 17 years, he's not going to hit year 17 next year. He's not going to be playing that much more. And if I had to guess, he probably has 2 or 3 more years or seasons left. If I had to read the tea leaves, and I think this is pretty accurate to say without a substantial reporting on it or anything on the record, I have a feeling that DeMar DeRozan will be moved this offseason, and not just because of the contract, but because Debo wants to win and he wants to win now. I would expect him to go to a organization or a team that is in a win now mode and is missing one more piece of a veteran player. And I think DeMar is that guy. As much as he is a great organizational piece and a great veteran in that locker room, I just don't see him staying here much longer. I don't see him staying here past this offseason just because of he's not a project. He's a veteran that has only a couple more years to play, and he wants to be able to compete in the playoffs and compete for a championship. And the fact that they didn't even do that in the 1 year that he was here, I think really does frustrate him. He said it, he has no regrets. It's a learning experience. And for what he's learned this year and how the Kings organization works, I think as a 17-year or 16-year veteran heading into the Hall of Fame one day, I don't think he wants anything to be a part of that. And that's just me reading the tea leaves right there. Another one, Keegan Murray. We asked him about, hey, you have an option to do a rookie extension this offseason. Have you thought about it? He's like, no, let my agent take care of it. I'll be honest with you, I'm working on my wedding plans for the summer. I said, okay, Keegan, go do you. I think Keegan also was very, very adamant saying, hey, I don't want to play the 5 anymore. If I could, I'd love to play the 3, maybe stretch 4 when needed with a smaller lineup. But Keegan, I think, is much more comfortable in a wing position, especially in that small forward position. I think that's something that we have to look at heading into the offseason of getting a little more length and maybe pushing Keegan to that number 3 position. And the final one was just Zach LaVine and his future here. I asked him, hey, you have a player option for next season. where do you stand about your future here in Sacramento? He's like, hey, I like Sacramento. I like being a place where I'm wanted. And the fact that they want me here is something that I really hold in high regard. But said, he's not talking about an extension. He's not thinking about his player option. Right now, he's going to go home to his wife and kids who he hasn't seen in 5 months in Newport, California, and then think about it from there. And the reason I bring up those 4 guys, or those are the 4 main guys. Of course, Malik, as you guys have already talked about, has said, like, I ride and die with the city. I'm here. I'm all in. And I don't expect anything different from Malik. But I'm also intrigued to see what his role turns into this offseason. He had 4 different roles this year, guys. And, like, I think that messed up his game a little bit. I think if you take a blank slate and look at what Malik did, I know he's going to want to be the starting 2 guard next season. But I think he's the guy that comes off the bench, and he needs to embrace, and someone needs to have a very tough conversation with him of, like, you need to be the Lou Williams of the league. Be okay being a ridiculously good 6-man, and at the end of the day, it's more important if you close the game than start it. But those are my big takeaways from media day to day or exit interviews today. It was just the 2 words that kept on coming to me, or kept on being repeated, is clarity and consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Clarity of where the hell this season, where the hell is this organization going, and consistency of, can we keep the same people here for the whole stinking season? Because the amount of times people rattled off losing Mike, losing Luke Laux, losing Wes Wilcox, now losing Monty McNair, and all the volatility that happened, like, people can't believe that this has been only 1 season. It's been 5 seasons in 1.
Jake, we got to let you go. We'll see you Sunday. Before we do, your gut on Doug Christie.
He's the next head coach of the Sacramento Kings.
Okay. All right. We appreciate you, Jake. Great stuff. Breaking news to players. That's what he does. Jake Gadon, we'll see you Sunday night on Sports Sunday, my man.
Good night, guys. Have a great day.
What's up, Hammer? I'll turn your mic on.
What's happening?
James hanging out with us. We've given James his Friday back so he can have a life and go do dinner reservations and do all of that stuff. But we asked James to hang out here with us for a little bit longer so we could kind of put a bow on this season. Maybe a bow is the wrong term, man, but we could kind of just put an end to all of this. We haven't had an opportunity to talk with you since the season came to a close. Let's start. I mean, a lot has happened since we
just a little bit
since we all sat down together. Did you have a problem with the way everything transpired over that, 12, 15-hour period or whatever it was?
I don't know if I have a problem with it as much as, like, okay, we all knew Monty was going to get let go. Like, he addressed the team. You pulled him aside after he addressed the team. I think he knew he was on the way out the door. I think the Kings knew he was on the Kings players. Again, the fact that we were in the locker room when the news broke was awkward. It was very awkward.
Sure.
Shout out Jay Gadon.
Yeah, I've heard.
Jay Gadon, just precious.
What? Real quick. What happened there? Not Jay Gadon, but the Kings. The Kings didn't put out that he was fired, right?
No. Well, yeah, they did. The Kings
Through Sam.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I that's, like, if not, what are you going to wait for an agent to put it out and so it's their spin?
Well, no, you tell the team before you tell Monty or something like that.
No,
like
Monty already knew. Monty knew.
The meeting that they had when they rushed everybody out, that should have happened before Sam Amick knew.
So, well, goddamn.
Well,
right.
maybe.
I feel like there's a lot there. I think Sam knew when we were talking to him.
The whole 17,000 knew.
Well, but the part, I think but that's the thing, right? Like, I think Casey's right. Like, at least in the little baseline sideline area, it sure felt like everyone knew Monty McNair wasn't going to be back.
I mean, he gave me a hug. As soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh, that's over."
James,
so I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Just real quick. That's the part I can't. Is why we all think Monty knew.
Yeah.
Why would he address the team that way?
Well, because it's the end of the season, and that's what GMs do. And you go in the locker room and,
hey guys, I'm out.
No, you have an interim head coach, and you go in and you address the team, and then they go and they mutually part ways. I mean, the mutual parting of ways, that means that thing was set up, that they knew that it was going to happen.
Right.
And so just the weirdness of being in the locker room. And again, like I joke around about this, but just the moment was bizarre. Like again, we had Devin Carter in the locker room. We had Zach LaVine. We had Domantas Sabonis. In comes Jonas Valanciunas walking in. Like they're not dressed. They're just got out of the shower. Like everyone's in different stages of getting. And out of nowhere, Jake just sounds the alarm. Oh my gosh, they just fired Monty McNair. And it's like, wait, what? He's like standing right next to me, and it's like, oh my gosh, it just happened.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, what?
I meant to ask Jake this yesterday. Can you clarify? Because would take it to a whole nother level. Was Sam in the locker room?
No.
I was just making sure. Because that's the only thing that would make the story better. Is Sam's just off in a corner. The Kings are parting ways with Monty McNair, or Malik Monk is toweling off in front of him, or whatever. I guess he wasn't toweling off; he didn't play.
Like if we were at the break and we muted the mics, I'd tell you exactly the way that it played. But I walked out of Jake says that. I go, "Are you serious?" Well, I know where I can get it confirmed. I walk out of the locker room, get it confirmed instantly. Say hi to Sam. Walk back in the locker room.
Sam standing. Oh, I can't take this. Never mind. I ain't gonna say that out loud. Never mind.
So like, look, it's one of those moments where you're just like, okay, this is weird. And then security walks in and like, hey guys, get dressed quick. We got a meeting right now. They're like, not, and I'm not talking like an
security
usher
walks in and removes Monty McNair.
No, Monty's already gone at that point. So like, and you asked, like, the question is very specific. Like, am I okay? Like, I'm okay with Scott Perry being the new GM as well.
Sure.
I think it's weird to like get divorced one night and have your new wife, not even like girlfriend, your new wife move in the next morning. That's a little awkward and strange.
Judgmental James over here.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's just a little odd, but at the NBA level, I guess it happens like that sometimes. And like, look, I really like Scott Perry. Mm-hmm. Like he made, of all the front office people that I've dealt with the Kings, again, I love Jeff Petrie, but Jeff Petrie would tell like snide jokes all the time and laugh at the jokes, and no one else thought it was funny. And he was just kind of really, really smart and really awkward. And it was like a lot of like, you guys catch that joke? It's like, bro, I'm looking down at your shoes and you're wearing like hush puppies. So I'm not gonna like sit here like you're wearing a linen suit like you do every draft day. So like there's always these moments though where like someone walks in the door and they just get it, and Scott Perry gets it. Like I don't think I've ever had any of the people that they've brought in at this point like make such an impact on me as a media member where I'm like, oh man, I really hope he's here for a long time. And then when he wasn't, it was like such a bummer because it's a moment in Kings history where things could have been different because this dude knew exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. And everyone else in the course of my time here outside of Jeff Petrie, and then here at the end here, these guys knew what they were doing, but they just went about it in a different way. But I think we'll see how he is at making basketball decisions, but I think he's going to clean up like so many of the problems that they have internally, like right away. Yeah. Like just get it cleaned up. Like we're done. I'm so done with the chaos and the inability to like just do the basics. Like we shouldn't have to wait for like, again, like we all know Scott Perry's the GM. We haven't seen a press release yet. That was yesterday. Mm-hmm. Like there's no press release yet. He has not been hired as a GM yet. He's a GM. Like, and it's just these things that they have to get right moving forward. And I think that like having an adult in the room and somebody who isn't looking to compete and to climb and all that stuff, just has the job, to me is a big deal. And the other thing I would say is if Scott Perry's going to hire assistant GMs, let Scott Perry hire assistant GMs.
Yeah.
Let's not have a competition for who is going to be the GM and see if they want to take the job now too, even though they've never worked with Scott Perry. Like have some continuity, have some sort of like it's okay to have differing ideas, but have somebody that he knows and he feels comfortable with and can help him get the job done, because the job here is massive. The job that in front of the Kings right now is so complex and so difficult, and to get out of the hole that they're in right now and to a better place, however they got here, which we just discussed on the Insiders, however they got here, it doesn't matter. They're here. So how do you get out of this place right here that you're in? And to me, he's a very, very good first step to get out of the hole. And I don't care what his track record is like in spots where the Knicks where he's sharing duties or Orlando where he's sharing duties. All I know is the moment he got here, he brought like a very sophisticated, smart basketball mind who knew exactly what he was doing and had control of the entire situation. And what happened next was just catastrophic, bringing in a guy like Brandon Williams to just mess up the entire thing. And we'll have to see.
One of the things that I'm hypothesizing when I say this, but could be a good sign for the Kings fans who, and media and just people who follow who want Vivek to get out the way, is potentially going to a guy and going back to a guy in Scott Perry may be a sign of going to somebody he trusts and somebody that he believes in. And he looks at it as, I wasn't able to keep you around the first time, but I believed you were the guy that was going to help us before, and I lost you. I need your help bad. This is a mess. I need somebody in here that, what do we say all the time about Vivek? It seems like I need somebody in here I can trust, somebody I believe in. And you get Scott Perry in there, and maybe he looks at Scott Perry as a guy that I can allow him to do what he does because I believe in him. I believe in what he can do. I believed in what he did in the short time that he was here. It could be all nonsense, but going back to a guy instead of let me go to somebody that I don't know and
have to learn him.
Yeah. Going back to this guy that I believed in the first time. Maybe it's a good sign that he's going to fall back more.
I don't know if it's a sign he's going to fall back more, but it is a sign that he recognized talent when it was in the building. And that's not always the case. There are certain things that have happened here over the last 13 years that should never, ever, ever happen in a basketball organization where you're looking at things and going, I can't believe I'm dealing with this. I can't believe I'm standing across from somebody who's lying to me when they know that I know what they're saying is a complete lie. They know that I know, and they keep talking. And you're just looking at them. I have no respect. What I really would like to do right now is punch you in the face, because what you're doing is so disrespectful, just lying to me when you know that I know it's a lie. And there are things that have happened here that, again, should never, ever happen. And that's maybe why I'm so excited to see somebody who actually knows what to do and knows how to handle the job. And this isn't a slide on Vlade or Peja. Those guys, to be honest with you, they were always super nice. And I always thought that their intentions were they had well intentions. But at the end of the day, that's not all the people that they brought in here. There are people that they bring in that building that are nefarious characters that have the wrong motivations. And I just don't feel like Scott Perry is one of those dudes.
Real quick, what's his first order of business?
Man, you got to figure out how to move you got to figure out how to move a major money player. And, whether that's DeMar DeRozan or it's Zach LaVine, one of those guys has to exit stage left because this thing's not going to work with the two of them there. It's proven out in Chicago. It's proven out here in the last whatever games of the season where they're just a bad mix. And that would be order number one. And then order number two, you got major decisions to make on Keon Ellis, major decisions to make on Keegan Murray. Are these your guys? Are they not? Let him make basketball decisions that he believes that he, because just because Keegan Murray was untouchable under Monty and Wes, that is not Scott Perry's fourth pick. Mm-hmm. And I think Keegan Murray should be a part of this thing. But I also think that Scott Perry should have the ability to make the decisions for who needs to be here and who doesn't, and then build around that. And then, of course, we got the Doug Christie situation hanging out there. Yeah. And I would like to, again, I'll say the same exact thing I'll say about Scott Perry. Let Scott Perry hire his staff. Give Doug Christie a $4 or $5 million blank check and say, you go get the staff you want. You get every single dude you want. Here's the money. You go get them, and we're on board. Get out of the way. Do not bring in somebody else that you think can compete for Doug Christie for the head coaching job. Either he's a head coach or he's not. Either Scott Perry's a GM or he's not. That's it. That to me is as big a mistake as any that the Kings, a problem that the Kings have, is this whole idea that you can bring in people to compete with the people that you hired to do the big jobs. It's just stupid. Like straight up, it's just bad business. And it might work in the tech world. It does not work in the NBA. And it hasn't worked for 13 seasons here in Sacramento. Get out of the way.
Shout out to my boy.
So yeah, I'd take Zion. What?
So I just asked one of the homies. I guess you guys will be able to decipher it. But I asked him off air. I said, "Hey, what's the Kings' record when DeMar DeRozan shoots 18 plus times?" And he responded, "No clue."
What? Who did you text that?
Who
Will?
would I ask?
Will?
Shut up, Will. He's sick of you.
I love that Will just said the hell with you.
Yeah. I'm not your stat boy, Kenny, okay?
I love that.
That's right, Will.
I love that. Will,
Oh no! I had a question. I went to the one guy who I thought would be able to answer it.
Will was
He
just
said no clue.
Well, no, wait a minute. Did you text the wrong Will?
Will did you text?
Did you text
Hey,
the wrong Will?
Hey, you know,
You're an idiot, dude. I can't deal with you.
Oh my
Get out.
gosh.
Get out.
Yeah,
Get
go take a
out.
lap, bro.
Get
Go
out.
Take a lap.
No,
Hey,
seriously. No.
Hey,
Take
No.
an actual lap.
you know who it is? You know, it's our boy who told us about the Jazz 2 years ago.
Oh, for God's sake.
Bro, just go run, and I'll let you know when to stop. Like, it's one of those. I'll let you know when to stop. He's like, wow, great to hear from Kenny. It's a random ass question,
I
though.
was like,
Oh man!
and my favorite part is I'm thinking Will Z would never respond to me that way. That's hilarious. Will's team D-Lo. He was like, the hell
Will's
with
having a bad day or
KC.
something.
Yeah. Kenny just sending random Will's messages.
What the hell's this got to do with me? I'm a Jazz fan.
Oh man!
No, seriously, bro. Take a lap.
Yeah.
Like an actual physical lap.
Go to Complex's office and pack.
Go count all the new
No,
cars outside.
I'm going.
Yeah,
man.
go ahead.
That was
Shouty
a
house
problem
yourself.
again today.
Oh,
Settle
yeah,
down.
yeah, walk it off.
Out of here, man.
Walk it off. Goodness gracious. Man out here in jeans and a button down like he got somewhere to go. Just texting, hey, if you're Will and you're in KC's phone, watch out.
How does that even happen in this day and age?
Kenny's, hey, don't. And I love that Will Z has the number. Don't text and do the show. It's like texting and driving. Goodness gracious. Well, random Will doesn't know the answer, but Will Z knows the answer. The Sacramento Kings are 19-17 when DeMar DeRozan shoots 18 plus times. Man. No, don't mind him. He's taking an actual physical lap.
Yeah, no, he went and dapped up everybody who was standing over there by Charlie's desk.
No, as he should. He needs to
What
just
happened?
make his way around. So he's trying to find out what the Kings' record is when DeMar DeRozan shoots the ball 18 plus times.
Okay. Of
Who do you text for that information? You text Will Z.
course, WillZstats.com.
Right, absolutely. What's
Or
Kenny
Sports
do?
Illustrated.
He texts a random guy named Will. Yeah. No, you did. Okay. Have a seat.
Yeah, took my lap.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Will Z has your answer, by the way. The answer is 19-17 when DeMar shoots 18 plus times.
You mean
It took him 5 seconds to get that for you. You could have just said it on the show.
well, I didn't know what he was doing, so I was just like, whenever he gets to it, he gets to it.
Now the poor guy Will is wondering, what the hell?
What was your reaction to thinking Will Z was just like, yeah, to hell with
It's like,
Teddy Carroll?
damn, who else am I supposed to ask? Well, not this Will.
I really love that Will Z. You thought Will Z told you to go to hell.
Did you text the other person back too? Like, hey, sorry about that
I'm
wrong
about
number.
to text him right now, man. I'm about to text him right now because that's my boy too. That's my boy.
Shout out Will at Southwest. Man. All right. So the answer is 19 and 17, by the way. Was that what
I
you
didn't really-
expected?
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Well, there's a lot you haven't known the last 3 minutes, but
I was just curious to see what it would be.
bro, oh my God. We have a turkey that is invading our backyard.
You got turkeys out there?
Man.
It's a turkey, and I just got a picture. Apparently she's dropping eggs.
Oh
No, you got no.
Oh.
Mm-mm. Nope, not in my backyard.
Oh hell no.
Toss that over to the neighbor's fence.
No.
Toss that over the neighbor's
Bro,
fence.
hey, I'm calling what is it, SPCA?
Yeah.
I'm calling them, bro.
The
You gotta come
turkey-
get 'em.
Hey, you can lay your
You
eggs
gotta come
here
get
if
'em.
you want to be my dinner on Thanksgiving.
The turkey has gotten in the pool.
Oh, get the
All right,
water,
man.
get the
Hey,
water
so
out.
look, no, man, it can't happen.
You know-
SPCA, get him before I kill him. Get him before I kill him.
Exactly.
Oh, come on.
PETA, if you'd like to show up as well, figure this out, please.
The disrespect, the audacity for them to just get into the pool like that. Wow. I can understand. You know, when you go out into nature and you're like, hey, you're in their house,
hold
like
on,
leave
hold
them
on.
alone. Like, no, bro, you're in my house. Get out, get away.
David Jackson says that turkey eggs are going about $75 a dozen right now.
Well, I just got a picture of it. It's broken. Like, I don't know, maybe
Hey, stay away from it too, because they're gonna think that you did it and she's gonna come beat
Yeah,
your ass. Don't touch those eggs.
You might have to move.
That's a good point.
why are they in my
You gotta
backyard?
move a week after you
I don't think they're in your
Pull in.
backyard. I think your house is in their backyard.
Poor
Hey, that's
guy.
crazy. Yeah, you.
Just got the pool.
I'm
done,
like,
and
I'd
now
be
he's
pretty
got-
pissed off if a turkey was in my pool that I just got built and all that. Because now, like, that's disgusting. I feel.
What if she tell the homies too?
Well, that's what we're
He's got
worried
a
about.
pool.
That's what we're worried about. Like, I looked up, how do you keep turkeys out of your pool? Do you know what you have to do? Scare them. That's the only way to do it.
Sprout, get out here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Sprout, get to bargain.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, they're comfortable enough to lay eggs at your house too.
So I'm trying to.
That's low key a
It's
studio
one thing
apartment
you
now.
don't have to worry about in the slums where I live.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Mm.
It's just walking across the fence, just having a good
Is
old
this
time.
live?
Oh, smug.
No, it's not live. That's exactly what it
Gotcha,
is.
yeah, you know.
I got a video of the turkey walking across the fence, and then I guess the turkey came back because there's a picture of the egg on the pavers.
I don't want no turkeys at the crib, man. I don't want no turkeys at the crib. I'm cool, man. I am cool.
You want to go to your house
No.
real quick to handle this? Me and KC can handle the show.
Yeah,
no, because we got another show to do.
Oh, there's
No.
no-
We'll come back.
No,
but
no turkeys at the crib, and no shooting shirtless in an empty arena.
there's a turkey in my backyard. It's today's show title.
Whoa. What you talking about, Rachel? What you talking about? We got those two in Peacocks and EG. Chill.
Oh, you got rich
Now-
birds.
Now
Man,
she
yeah,
lives in
yeah,
a
you got rich
she live in-
birds.
I was gonna
no,
say
she live in a different part
a
of town.
peacock is a rich bird.
She live in a different part of town. She don't live in my part of town.
I don't even know if I've ever seen a peacock.
Well, you
in
do always say you
person.
live on the 5 side of this, as if like that's the great side of Elk Grove and stuff. I doubt
You
they
turn
have that
your
on the
nose up
99,
at the
right?
99
Yeah, so I
side.
doubt like where else
Yeah,
could
but
you
if
live?
you go where she's at in Elk Grove on the 99 side, that's when it gets real rich. That's when they have areas called estates. Like this is the Sheldon Estates. That's where Rachel is.
See,
That's rich.
we just got apartment birds. That's it.
Got pigeons.
Yeah.
Got squirrels.
Oh,
know,
the
we
squirrels
had-
are out there all the time.
We had like a couple of
We've hit
I
the
wanna say
Animal
about a
Planet
year.
hour of D'Lo and Casey.
You didn't
I
know
tried
it's
to-
3 o'clock.
to
It's
be
3
clear-
o'clock on Friday.
To be clear, I tried to book James. James was like, "We're going to Turkey or something," which is perfect fitting. And so, and Katie was like, "Hey, can I zoom in?" I must have done something really stupid because she was like, she texts, do you know what you got for Easter? Like, do you know what you ordered for Easter? You know, we were talking about I was like, no, why? She was like, do you have a time where I could join the show? And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, yeah, actually, our 3 o'clock hour is free. She's like, okay, I want to show you what you got. I was like, oh, okay. So I have no idea. I must have done something really stupid for her to be like, I want to show the whole chatty house this. So, and this was all before the turkey dropped the egg in our backyard.
Is it just one egg that's been
that one is
dropped?
crazy. That is crazy.
What's that?
It's just one egg that's been dropped.
There's just one egg there.
You can't really touch that either because like the turkey didn't get
But
all
it's
territorial,
broke.
right?
Like the egg is broke.
Yeah,
The turkey don't know that though.
Yeah, he don't know, and then stay away because he gonna see it broke.
So what
She
am I
see
gonna
it
do?
broke.
Leave the egg there?
Don't want to mess with life.
She might just beat your ass.
Yeah.
anyway.
Hey, she's gonna think you broke it.
Man, now I gotta cover up the doggy door.
Has this ever happened before? Where you had a turkey in the backyard?
No.
Like in that area?
No. No. This is all new. I ain't lived here but since it ain't even been a full year. This is the 11th month.
R.I.P. to that little turkey though. R.I.P.
Didn't even get to become dinner.
They got a lot of turkeys on
This is
that
terrible.
freeway on the way to my house. They'll never venture over.
Yeah, the Sacramento turkeys. That was a new thing that I learned when I moved over here.
That Sacramento has turkeys?
Yeah. I remember walking to Sac State on the little American River Trail back there. What? Yeah, it's a big old bird right there.
I told you. I think I told you guys when I was at the Mike Bibby press conference. I was looking around for the building, and I got to a point where the door was there, and I was like, oh, here's the door to the entrance to it. And I was like, oh, wait, maybe it's not. And then I turned to my left to like make a move like around the building. Saw this big turkey. I said, nope, this is the entrance. This is the entrance here.
I'm not a
I'll be
bird guy.
going through this door. Turkeys are like, I don't know, 5 feet.
Oh yeah, they're big birds. How do you even get rid of a turkey too? You should have toss it over the fence.
I have no idea, but I'm watching the camera of Katie discovering the egg, and she's looking. It's in the middle. There's nothing above it, and she's
Like it fell out the sky.
Like wait. Oh my God, this is terrible. This is terrible. This turkey better start paying rent.
Warren says that the turkeys are protected in Sacramento.
and there
so
it
you can't
is.
do anything to
Okay,
them.
They're protected.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, fine. Protect them. Just
So-
come get them out
Okay,
of the house.
Wait a second. What is this
talking about?
I found the video of the turkey. The turkey has the egg like in its mouth.
Oh, did it just drop off the bad egg to you?
It did.
Oh, that's a
And
diss.
then walked around. Oh, I bet this little
Wait,
bitch.
hey.
Did this little bitch go for the pool?
Yeah, the turkey
Yep.
dropped off his
Wait.
bad egg, and then
Did it get in my pool?
this is a sign of disrespect.
It walked. Oh, hold on. It's at the edge.
Needs to be answered.
It lives there now.
Yeah, that's either that turkey's house
Their
or
house.
you.
This day sucks, dude.
You got a new pet.
We'll come back.
Congratulations.
We really talked turkeys for 13
This day
minutes.
is terrible. Absolutely terrible. And spoiler alert, it's not going to get better. Stilo and Casey on ESPN 1320.
Would you rather deal with the turkeys or run the Kings? That's true. Squatters' rights means it's gonna take about a year to get them out.
So just so you, we're
Hey,
we're in commercial. We're not on the radio yet.
Okay.
I just found the video of the turkey. We've been talking about the turkey for 13 minutes. the turkey dropped the egg off. It like it didn't lay. It just dropped the.
It dropped it.
Did it get in the pool?
What? The egg or the turkey?
The turkey.
Yes.
Did it do anything in the pool?
No.
Okay.
I got it out.
All right. That's my
But if I am in a full fight as a 43-year-old woman with a turkey,
well,
yes, I am.
This is like Angry Birds too.
This is so
they don't
bad.
mess around.
If I could throw a pig at this turkey, yes, I would.
Can I tell
I'm
you
not
my
gonna say what I've
favorite,
thrown at it.
Can I tell you my favorite part about this is when you discovered the egg and you started looking up in the sky. That's my
Don't
favorite part.
stop stalking me.
It's gonna be our highest rated Friday ever.
Oh, ever.
Stop watching me on the cameras.
Well, I wanted to see where this egg was.
I would
And
like
then
to
I
know
was
where
like-
it was too.
So watch. Hold on, let me see if I can watch the. Oh, it's not. How do I?
That's why she keeps coming back. And I'm telling you, I'm in a full.
Just walks the egg over, drops it off, plucks around, and goes and gets in our pool.
Doesn't even. So it laid the egg right there.
The egg was in its mouth.
That poor bird probably didn't even know it dropped the egg on the concrete too. That's how it cracked.
Oh, fried.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it dropped it. It's like it picked it up and
No.
then dropped it.
I thought that was an Easter egg out there because the girls dyed eggs. And I was like, somebody missed an egg because this
Look,
egg
I
is.
think it cuts off right before it gets in our pool.
Wait, is there? Oh, that's Meadows. I was like, is that another one? It's a
I
beautiful
will-
Is that Cancun?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Was this a resort?
Yeah, I think I've been there before.
What's
Don't
going on?
watch me chase that turkey around the backyard. Please, I beg you.
Oh wait, here comes Katie. Hold on.
I will chase that turkey.
I didn't even see this. Oh, she's running. That's my.
I'm so mad at
Katie was gonna whoop this
Okay, did you
turkey's ass.
explain how they kept being poop in the pool?
Yeah,
Okay, and we didn't know where it was coming from.
and you have to scare the turkey out. You have
And
to
then I
scare-
found it. And guess what? That turkey does not care about mommy. She doesn't care at all.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Turkeys-
Don't
turkeys,
watch me
they walk.
chase anything ever.
Oh, that is
Please,
so
I beg
great.
you.
You went after it.
Them turkeys, they ain't nothing nice.
Get in my pool.
Turkeys,
It's
turkeys and
it's
raccoons.
literally that simple. Don't get in my pool. Hey Casey, how many turkeys get in your pool?
No, I don't have a.
I'm sorry. So sorry. The lake.
I don't have a. Don't
Good
listen
call.
to these people.
It's a
He
good
gets
call
mad when
right
you say
there.
that. It's a body of water.
Don't listen.
It's
To
a-
I'm so
these
sorry.
people.
The pond.
No, I don't have.
Body
I
of
don't have
water.
anything like that.
Apologies.
In my
Apologies.
backyard, there is no body of water in my backyard.
Not what I heard, courtside Kenny. That's not what I heard.
Can't listen to the media. Don't listen to the media.
Did Abby leave before all of this happened?
No, she's upstairs.
Oh,
No, she and also I have to tell you, didn't care. Did not care one bit that we were being terrorized.
You low-key need like a turkey defense system now or something because they're gonna keep coming back.
Can somebody Google that? Is that a thing?
The turkey might call for a human defense system because they live there.
The fact that it was comfortable enough to drop the egg there, it's like, yeah, this is my
yeah,
spot.
that's crazy.
You know what that makes her? Bad mother.
Well, the egg.
Low-key
well,
dropped
the,
it on the concrete. It looked like.
the egg is broken. Like that's the other thing. Like we.
Fact there's
So
a crime
honey,
scene.
you saw her just drop the egg?
Yeah. Okay, we're coming back, Katie. Hang
Okay.
on. All right, we have been discussing the great turkey takeover during the entire commercial break. Katie from the Wake Up Call is kind enough to join us in this 3 o'clock hour that has gone straight to hell. But it's not about the turkey that has invaded our backyard or our pool
No.
or potentially laid an egg. We're not really entirely sure, but this is
No,
about
it laid an egg.
Well, I do have
Wow.
footage if we ever need it of you chasing the turkey away. So I didn't realize that was there, but it's there. We have it.
We have an egg discussion to be had.
Okay.
Okay. Let me start by saying I love you very much.
Okay. Okay.
You're the love of my life.
Uh-huh.
No other partner has ever said, "What can I do for Easter?" I said, maybe get some eggs and we can put candy in them.
Mm-hmm.
All make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
And you
talked
said-
about this.
And you said, babe, yes, absolutely. Stepdaddy D-Lo in effect.
Okay.
The package came today.
Okay.
Do you know what you ordered?
Dior Jordans.
I didn't order. No, I guess
Okay.
I don't.
I would like to I'd like to tell you what you ordered. You ordered 500 plastic eggs. And
What?
this is not even half the box.
Hey, this is like when
That's-
Jeff Bezos tries to go grocery shopping.
That's a lot.
It keeps going.
Yeah.
No, we're doing fine. There's a whole half a box here that I haven't even unpacked yet.
Oh, well,
Oh.
all right.
Well. Okay, just how many do you think we need?
One of those bags.
We got it.
Half of a bag.
We're done. One bag. That's maybe 30. When I opened the box, first of all, when the box came, I need everybody to know the boxes never stop coming to Casa de Katie, also known as D-Lo's Mansion. Okay.
He's a man.
I said, babe, can I open these boxes? He said, yes, honey, of course. I open the box and I see 500 pieces. I said, well, surely that can't be right because we have 2 underage children that we are doing Easter for. No. You said you're going to get candy for all of these.
Well, that's
Well, did the candy
500
not
pieces
arrive?
of candy and maybe $100 in ones because sometimes you put money in them.
How many eggs did you think you were buying?
I don't know. I just needed eggs to get here by tomorrow or Saturday.
Also, there's another box that just says Happy Easter Jubilee.
No, those are the eggs with the stuffed animals in them.
Okay.
We already cooking.
So we got the stuffed animals, and then the egg. We got those eggs. We can put the candy in.
So I have to tell you, I already put that package away. It's not that.
Oh.
What is it?
Sir,
Well,
you tell
I
me.
don't know.
You tell me
All
what
right.
it is.
Oh,
I don't-
we're going to find out.
Okay,
Oh,
it's the candy. It's the candy. Guys, it's the
Okay.
candy.
well, what did you
Okay.
put away?
Well, no, I think she put away.
No,
the
go
eggs
ahead,
with
explain
stuffed
it.
animals in it. Well, I bought eggs with stuffed animals in it because I thought we'd put the. I didn't realize I ordered 500 plastic eggs.
You didn't realize like, oh, $200 for 500 eggs was a little weird, maybe.
Also, the kids have already dyed eggs, so there are already what's 24 times 2? 48?
Yep.
48 already pre-dyed regular eggs, not to be confused with the turkey eggs.
Do we hide the real eggs too? We don't hide those.
Yeah.
eggs.
No, we don't do anything. The Easter Bunny does it.
Good point. It's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
But
leave
these-
it out. We leave it all out.
Yep.
And then at roughly 4 a.m.,
Sunday.
or something.
Mhm.
The Easter bunny comes
Mhm.
and puts the eggs out, and some of them are harder to find because some people are 11 and some people are 4, and then they collect them.
That's that's that is dedication. That is great parenting. Because you say at 4 a.m. you go hide these eggs. No, at about I shouldn't say no, but I'll say in some other households, hey, you guys go upstairs for 30 minutes. At about 2 p.m. Go upstairs for 30 minutes. We'll call you when it's time to come back down. And then you
We
go up there
are in our household, we are awake for he is awake for at least 3 hours before any other
That's a good
human opens their eyes and acknowledges that this is a world.
I have great news though.
Mhm.
We probably never need to buy plastic Easter eggs again. Do you need plastic Easter eggs? Because I have some.
I don't think so. Oh, well,
Okay.
I think they already got them, else I would.
Okay. Well,
Else I would.
look,
but,
we have them moving forward.
Yes,
So,
we do. We do. Oh,
Go to
there's
Kohl's.
a whole other half a box.
Mm-hmm.
Babe, I
You
love
could
it.
just go to Kohl's and go to the little Amazon return spot.
No. Go to delo.com.
Yeah, what if we brand them?
no,
D'Lo and Casey Easter eggs.
Zelo and Casey Easter eggs. Look, they were purple ones. We could call them like the eggs. All right. There's gold ones. We could call those the KC eggs.
We do have those. Yes.
Yeah. We could make this work. We'll
Yeah.
figure out. We'll figure out. This is what do I tell you? Don't put me in charge of this stuff. Don't put me in
You
charge.
do.
of food
Okay.
orders
In
or
fairness, you
Amazon
do say
orders.
stop letting me order things,
That's right.
and I keep letting
Now,
you order things. That's my
so
fault.
15 minutes later, who's to blame?
It's always me.
That's right.
But who's the cutest?
Me.
No, it's also me.
You are. Yes, it is also you. Thank you.
Bye.
Where's the turkey? Thank you for
Where is the
thank you
turkey?
for fending off the turkey. Click
Where's
the
the
link
turkey?
again.
I'll punch that bitch.
Oh,
Click the link
Oh.
again if the turkey comes back so we can watch you chase it.
I'm not gonna let anybody do that.
Well,
Do not post that.
Okay.
Damien, I swear to God, do not post that. I'm in a bathing suit. Do not let people watch me chase a turkey.
All right. I will see you shortly.
Okay, I love you.
Okay. Love you back.
Bye.
All right.